Hey there, it's Trisha with Easy Emini Trade, and I'm going to go over Friday the 22nd. And if you'd like more information on the setups, you can go to www.easyemintrade.com. So we've been willing to trade the ES, NQ, E-minis, and then the Euro future. So without any regard to preference as to what we're willing to take, it's just, for me, whatever sets up first, that's when I'm going to jump in. So yesterday morning, right off the get-go, we had a setup on the NQ, and we are willing on any day in that first 3 minutes to take something if it sets up and disregard all areas of reference. So here at 9:30 we have this bar finishes at 9:31 on the NQ, and we've got the previous day's low and close right below us, but I'm going to disregard it, which goes against everything that I do the rest of the day. So it's kind of strange to take that kind of trade, but you know, probabilities are high that it works, so that's why we do it. So enter in under the low there and actually get my first two targets of +2, +4, and then as it starts to bounce here, I just flatten and cancel and wound up with 1 on my final third. We'll go over the ES as well to show you the setups on there. And then we get a close outside the channel here, but nothing we can really do with that because our indicator down here is not confirming for us to take that entry yet. So the first opportunity actually would be here. We pull back pretty close to the channel, and so I take this trade a quarter under this bar, get my first target of +2, and I really have to think about, you know, moving my stop to my entry on the NQ. Is that the smartest thing to do? I haven't traded it long enough to know that, but I'll get it figured out. But anyway, so move my stop to my entry after I get my +2, and I'm stopped out here on this bar. We're still outside the channel, so I decided I'm going to give it another shot. We've pulled back to the channel, so I'm looking to enter under this bar here. The next bar never trades to my entry price, but it's still valid, so I leave my order in place and I get filled on the next bar, and I wind up with my +2, my +4, and then break even on my final third. And you know, you don't have to leave your stop at break even on your final third. Like, you could opt to now, okay, you're going sideways, you could opt to put your stop a quarter above this area here, and then you'll be stopped out when it trades up to that, and then you still wind up with something on the final third. So, you know, totally up to you. I do it both ways. I will trail my stop, or I will you know, just leave it at my entry, but more usual that I am trailing my stop. And that was pretty much it on the NQ until the afternoon. Now, I did not trade in the afternoon. I actually am sad to say. So here you have the afternoon, and all of these closes outside the channel you're going to ignore because your indicator is not really giving you any indication yet to get in. Obviously you can see that it would have worked, but you know, regardless, it's not the setup. Likely you would have probably entered here under this low here, and I don't think you would have gotten your first target. Let's see. You would have gotten in about 24, 25. Okay, so you would have actually gotten your +2 on that. And then if you moved your stop to your entry, then obviously you would have been stopped out over here. And that was at, let's see, 143. Then here you get a close outside the channel, but once again, not in line down here yet, so pass. Here, you get closed outside the channel, you're willing to take it, your indicator is above 20, you're good to go, but it never trades to your entry price on the very next bar, so you cancel. Once it starts trading back inside the channel, you cancel. And then the next opportunity would be, actually here it looks like the bar here closed outside the channel at 237, or you could have taken it here at 238. Either one of those would have worked, and then obviously went on to be a nice trade. If you missed that, then you would have an opportunity to get in here once it pulled back to the channel, and that was at 244, the close of that 244 bar. Once you start moving lower here, obviously you've got your targets in place for 2 and 4, or you know, however your targets are. It doesn't have to be what I say. And once you get the pullback here and start lower again, then you would likely want to move your stop on your final third to above, like a quarter above this area. Then you start lower, then you go sideways for a little while, then likely you move your stop to a quarter above this area. You go lower, you go sideways, you're then going to move your stop probably to a quarter above this area here. and then you're stopped out over here. That's a way that you can stay in for the long haul. Unfortunately, you would have been stopped out over here. The next opportunity to get in, I'm going to say that pretty much you missed the boat if you didn't get in by then. Yes, you do have this area going down here outside the channel, but I mean that's a huge bar there. Plus, you know, you just had that huge move down. You know, if you hadn't gotten in anywhere up here, then I would say then you just unfortunately missed the boat. And that's the way it is sometimes. So all the trades that I took yesterday were actually on the NQ in the morning. Like I said, I did not trade in the afternoon, unfortunately, but I'll point them out on the ES as well. And again, the only reason I did not take anything on the ES was because I was already in something on the NQ. That's the only reason. I'll point out here at the open, you can see we never did get a setup on that first bar, and I had it on the NQ, so I entered it on the NQ. Here you do get closed outside the channel, so if you didn't take the NQ, then you might have been willing to take this, and obviously here on the ES it did not work out. Here you have your close outside the channel. Here you do, but you're not interested because your indicator's not in line. Here you do. You get a close outside the channel, you take it. Now, I have this red line here. It's been here forever, you know, since we've been trading in this general price area since in November. So this is 1100, and so you would likely want to make your target somewhere above that. Like I wouldn't sit in this trade expecting it to easily get through here just yet. But regardless, if you take it here, 1007, so you fill at 1008 on the next bar, 325 would be your entry. So you wind up with your 2 points on that. So you get your +1, +2. The next opportunity here is not until this afternoon. So whereas you had one opportunity really here, well, two opportunities, one that worked and one that didn't in the morning, you know, I had a few opportunities on the NQ. So interesting to note. The next opportunity would be here at 1247. You get closed outside the channel, and you do have plenty of room to your 1100. So if you wanted to take it, you could, or if you wanted to wait until you got below this area and look for something, just because of the previous price action to your left here. So totally up to you. If you were to take this expecting to get to that previous price action, let's say your entry would be 625 and you would be expecting to get to 5 and then maybe stall or bounce. So if you take that, you do have room to be profitable, so likely you got your point out of it. So that's pretty much what happens is we get to that previous price congestion area. You stall for a little while. Let's see if you would have been stopped out at your entry. So the entry basically would have been 625. So you never would have been stopped out on your final third, so you would have been able to capture this whole entire move lower if you retained a third from this entry here. Here, you are above 20 and rising, but the issue that I would have with this is that 1100 being right below me. So you just have to know that going in. The entry would be 250, and you know, just know that you're likely going to get to 1100, 1125 in that area and bounce. So plenty of room to take it. Takes a while to work out, but it does work. Then if you're playing it safe and you want to wait to get below this 1100, I would decisively get below it, because oftentimes, you know, a trade will trade below that major support or resistance area or above resistance and suck you in, and then it pops right back up. So somebody could opt to get in here, but luckily their entry is never traded to on the next bar, so then it closes inside the channel, so you cancel. Here really would be the best opportunity. You stayed under that 1100, you're outside the channel, so at 244 when that bar closes, you look for your entry. And on any of these bars, actually, it could have worked. If you did not take that entry here, then you could have taken the pullback to the middle line here. When you stayed closed on this side of the middle green line, then you could take it, or you could wait until you get another close outside the channel here. So either one of those worked and worked out nicely. This is an area that we actually had drawn on here from last November at 87. It was a very strong support and resistance area, so that's why that's on there, and interestingly enough, that's right where we came back down to. So I hope that helps, and unfortunately, like I said, I did miss the afternoon, but I hope a lot of you didn't, and we'll talk to you on Monday.